Our story begins with a boy named Wang Han rides his red motorbike at high speed while a phone rings in his pocket. He pulls out the phone from his jacket and answers, asking who is calling. The girl on the other end says she's pregnant with his child and insists they need to talk. He quickly hangs up, saying he's busy delivering food and doesn't have time for scams. Then he mutters that the trick won't work on him. Wang Han speeds through the city streets on his red motorbike. He races through traffic with precise control, leaving a glowing trail behind as he rushes forward. At the food delivery center, a group of workers gossip about the Su family's young lady, saying she's not an ordinary person. One of them complains that the situation feels completely unfair. Meanwhile, Wang Han arrives and skids to a sharp stop outside the center. He takes off his helmet and lights a cigarette, then turns to a co-worker and asks what he's mumbling about. The group discusses a trending topic. The daughter of the Su family in Zhongning is marrying the son of the city's richest man. One guy asks what that has to do with someone like him earning $5,000 a month. Another worker excitedly shows a picture of the Su family girl on his phone, saying she's incredibly attractive. He complains that the rich guy she's marrying is ugly and a sleazy bag, calling it a waste for someone like her to end up with him. Wang Han looks at the phone and thinks the woman shown looks familiar, then suddenly realizes it's her. As he continues staring at the phone, another guy gets surprised when he sees Wang Han's reaction. The co-worker asks if Han also thinks it's a waste for such a beautiful girl to marry someone like that. Wang Han then recalls she's the drunk girl who once tried to seduce him. He starts to question whether the earlier phone call was actually a scam. He confirms to himself that it really was her. He knows that woman. 1 month ago, a woman stumbles down a hallway, appearing disoriented. Holding her head, she questions why she feels so dizzy, suspecting something might have been in Qin Hao's drink. She arrives at room 809, calling out that she's there. Seeing the door already open, she wonders if she forgot to close it earlier before slowly reaching to enter. Wang angrily gulps down alcohol, shouting in frustration. Sitting on the bed, he says he was rejected because his aura was too intense and decides to return to food delivery. He notices the woman lying next to him and reacts in confusion. The woman asks who he is and if he's there to help her. She mutters that her head is spinning and it's too hot. As Wang looks at the girl, he blushes and thinks she's stunning. She leans on him, softly asking for help. He panics and questions if he's dreaming. His hand clutches the bed tightly next to spilled alcohol. Back in the present, someone calls out to Han, asking why he's zoning out while showing the girl's photo on their phone. One of the delivery guys mocks Han, saying he's making up stories again, just like when he claimed he slept with a movie star. Another laughs, saying Han always talks big. Last time, he claimed to be an international arms dealer, and now it's something new. As Han lights a cigarette silently, one guy jokes that if Han's so important, why is he delivering food? Han replies that it's called hiding in plain sight. The others continue mocking, saying anyone can talk big, even joking about sleeping with Beyonce. Finally, someone steps in and tells them to stop and get back to taking orders. A red luxury car pulls up in front of the food delivery center, catching everyone's attention. The workers stare in shock, loudly exclaiming at the sight of the expensive vehicle. A high-heeled foot steps out of the car. The woman gracefully exits the car, looking confident as she stands in front of the others. The workers are stunned, blushing with hard eyes as they call her a total knockout. One of them starts to recognize her and asks if she looks like someone familiar. Another confirms she's Su Kai, the Su family heiress, and questions why she's here, nervously thinking, "Don't tell me." Su Kai walks straight up to Wang Han and demands to know why he hasn't been answering her calls. The workers react in shock, yelling that there's no way Han really knows her. Han calmly says he didn't see any calls and asks what's going on. Su Kai looks directly at him and says she's pregnant, and the baby is his. The entire group erupts in disbelief, repeating what they heard. One admits he'll never doubt Han again. Han looks stressed and asks Su Kai if she's absolutely sure she's not mistaken. Su Kai tells him to come with her to the hospital. As she tells Han to get in the car, his co-workers push him forward, urging him to hurry up. Han scratches his head and tells them to cover for him with the manager, deciding he should go if it involves him. The red sports car speeds through the city as Wang Han sits quietly in the passenger seat. He hesitantly asks if the baby is really his, and Soo-kai responds, asking if he thinks she'd lie about something like that. Han firmly says that if the baby is truly his, he'll take full responsibility for both her and the child. Soo-kai scoffs and questions how Han plans to take responsibility, mocking if he'll do it with his food delivery salary. Han responds casually, saying there's nothing wrong with delivering food and that he earns enough to support her and the baby. Soo-kai reminds him she's from the prestigious Soo family in Jongning and asks if he understands what that implies. Han dismisses her status talk as meaningless. Soo-kai suddenly slams the brake, causing Han to jerk forward and hit his head on the dashboard. Holding his forehead, Han yells that she's doing it on purpose and demands to know what's so special about the Soo family. Soo-kai simply says they've arrived at the hospital, telling him to get out. The car parks outside the hospital as Soo-kai steps out, while Han stays behind, still holding his head. She warns Han not to casually throw around words like responsibility, reminding him that if the Soo family finds out he got her pregnant, he knows the consequences. Han shouts back that he's not joking. If the baby is truly his, he'll absolutely take responsibility. Soo-kai, standing outside the car, tells him to come along and go inside with her. Inside the hospital, as they walk down the hallway together, Soo-kai instructs him to wait for a bit. Han notices the sign and panics, asking why they're heading toward the operating room. She turns back slightly and calmly says she's going in. Han's eyes widen in shock as he yells, chasing after her. Han grabs her shoulder and demands to know if she's serious. Soo-kai tells Han he should know better. He can't afford to support both her and the baby. Han insists that money isn't an issue and he'll figure it out. A nurse calls Soo-kai for her procedure, and Han stands beside her, still holding her arm. Soo-kai replies with a calm, "Yeah," as Han looks hesitant. As she walks toward the operating room, Han tries to stop her, calling out to her again. He clenches his fist, thinking that even now he can't stop her. He feels helpless in front of this woman. Inside the operating room, the doctors ask Soo-kai if she's ready. She lies on the surgical bed, staring up quietly. A surgeon prepares the injection and reassures her to relax, saying it'll be over soon. She closes her eyes silently as she lies on the surgical bed. Suddenly, she raises her hand and tells them to wait a second. Meanwhile, Han sits outside, thinking that if she's truly determined, there's nothing he can do to stop her. Then, to his surprise, Soo-kai steps out of the room fully dressed. Han turns around sharply, running up to her. He yells in confusion, wondering how the surgery could be over already. Soo-kai, looking tired, asks him to drive her home and says he should be able to handle her car. Han grins confidently and says of course he could even fly a fighter jet if needed. As the car speeds down the road with intense motion, they arrive at Longwen, Block B, where the car continues racing, and Han receives a call. While driving with Soo-kai in the passenger seat, he answers the phone and asks what's going on. The caller informs him about a bidding event at Jianu Tower that evening, saying the old man wants him to attend personally. Han acknowledges the task and is also told that Lin Kinyan, president of Julong Chamber's Zhongxing branch, will cooperate. He confirms he understands. The car arrives at Soo family's residence, Building 19 in Longwen Block B, and he calls out to wake her up. Inside the car, he tells her they've arrived. As she steps out, she tells him to leave quickly before her family sees him. He offers to walk her to the door since she looks weak. She refuses the offer, thanks him, but firmly tells him to stay out of her business and walks away. As she quickly walks away, her heel slips, causing her to lose balance. She screams while falling, and he instantly reacts to catch her. He successfully catches her, holding her close to prevent injury. While holding her, he teasingly calls her a klutz and unbelievably clingy, which annoys her as she demands he repeat that. She suddenly grabs his shirt tightly, causing him to shout in pain. While still leaning on him, she clutches his chest firmly and presses against him, making him yell that it hurts. In response, he instinctively places his hand behind her head. Then, he swiftly grabs her thigh to support her more securely. While holding her in his arms, he winces and yells that she was way too harsh. Inside the room, she tells him not to apply the medicine and just leave, but he insists she stop moving as he begins treating her injury. Meanwhile, a pair of feet in high heels approaches the room. As the two sit together on the couch with the medicine box open, two people enter and are surprised. The man questions what they're doing, while the woman beside him, Yang Human, revealed to be Su Kai's mother, looks stern. Another woman named Lin Zufu, Su Kai's best friend. He calmly explains that she twisted her ankle, and she affirms it while sitting up. She then adds that her boyfriend simply came in to help apply some medicine. Han is visibly shocked after hearing what the girl just said. Yang Human, in disbelief, loudly questions if she just called the delivery guy her boyfriend. Wang Han stands quietly in front of Su Kai, who is sitting on the couch, as Lin Zufu and Yang Human approach. Yang Human demands to know what's going on. Yang Human angrily points at Wang Han and asks who this delivery guy is. Su Kai looks down and remains silent. When questioned, Su Kai explains she was just joking around, saying she twisted her foot and this guy helped her in. Yang Human warns Su Kai to listen to her, saying she's about to marry into the Su family and must not let anything ruin it. Wang Han reacts in shock when he hears Yang Human say Su Kai is getting married. Yang Human insults Wang Han, calling him a low-class delivery guy who's dreaming of something out of reach. Wang Han's expression hardens as he demands to know what she just said. Su Kai thanks Wang Han and tells him to leave first. He lets out a sigh and walks away as Yang Human watches silently. Lin Zufu stands quietly and watches Wang Han from behind, saying nothing. Yang Human tells Su Kai to rest in her room. She also tells Lin Zufu to throw out everything that came into contact with the delivery guy. Lin Zufu agrees. Upstairs, Lin Zufu asks Su Kai what her relationship is with the boy from earlier. Su Kai replies that there's no relationship. Lin Zufu accuses Su Kai of lying, saying she could tell something was off from the man's expression. She questions if Su Kai is also trying to lie to her. Su Kai places her hand on her stomach and quietly says she's pregnant with his child. Lin Zufu is shocked and loudly asks if Su Kai is serious about being pregnant. Lin Zufu struggles to believe it, saying even if Su Kai made a mistake, it shouldn't have been with a delivery guy. Su Kai explains it happened after drinking, calling it a moment of misjudgment. Lin Zufu asks what Su Kai plans to do, reminding her that this could ruin her and the Su family's reputation. Su Kai says she's planning to give birth to the child. Lin Zufu is shocked and yells that she must be crazy for wanting to keep the baby. Su Kai calmly says she asked him several times today, and he promised to take full responsibility for the child. Lin Zufu tells her to wake up, saying she's the daughter of the Kaiyan family. She says a delivery guy like him isn't worthy of Su Kai, and if the Su family finds out, the consequences would be unimaginable. Su Kai raises her hand and says she'll handle her own problems. Then she questions why Lin Zufu suddenly returned. Lin Zufu explains she came with her uncle to meet an important person in Zhongning City, and also check out tonight's bidding event. Lin Zufu thinks for a moment and suddenly gets an idea, saying she has come up with a perfect plan. Su Kai asks what plan she's talking about. Lin Zufu whispers her idea to Su Kai, saying if her secret is discovered, she should claim she was forced by the delivery guy. She calls it a brilliant plan and praises herself. Meanwhile, Wang Han walks out of the residential area. He looks at his phone and comments that it's hard to get a ride from this villa district. A black car appears ahead of him on the road. Wang Han looks surprised as an older man in a suit steps out from the black car and calls to him. The man introduces himself as Lin Yuan, the butler of the 9th branch of the Chen family. He says he's here to escort the young master to participate in the bidding event. Wang Han responds calmly, saying he already knows his grandfather mentioned it to him earlier. Wang Han tells Lin Yuan he needs to wash up and change before attending the bidding event. Lin Yuan agrees and says he'll make the arrangements. The black limousine drives off, carrying Wang Han to his destination. The bidding conference begins, and the hall is already full of well-dressed attendees and round dining tables. Wang Han arrives in formal attire, observing that quite a lot of people have shown up today. Wang Han is surprised when he sees Lin Zufu in a white dress at the event. She's equally shocked to see him. Lin Zufu questions him, asking if he's the same delivery guy from earlier at the Su household, and how he ended up here. Wang Han begins to answer, but she interrupts and accuses him of possibly working part-time at the venue. Wang Han, caught off guard, tries to deny it, but struggles to explain. Lin Zufu grabs Wang Han by the arm and pulls him aside. She says she needs to talk and drags him away urgently, while Wang Han calls her name in confusion. Once alone, Lin Zufu warns him that Su Kai is her good friend. She says if Su Kai ends up pregnant and Wang Han refuses to take responsibility, she won't let him off. Wang Han is stunned and asks in confusion, wasn't the baby already aborted? Lin Zufu yells at Wang Han, saying no one said the baby was gone, Su Kai decided to keep it. Wang Han is shocked and asks what she means. He starts to question the situation, wondering if Su Kai didn't actually go through with the procedure yesterday. Lin Zufu warns him again if he dares to abandon responsibility, she won't let him off. In anger, she stomps hard on Wang Han's foot. Wang Han cries out in pain after Lin Zufu stomps on his foot. She walks off without looking back. The host announces the bidding event is about to begin, and the guests start gathering. Wang Han thinks to himself that since Su Kai didn't go through with the abortion, he needs to finish the event quickly and find her afterward. A woman in a suit approaches and greets him respectfully, calling him young master. Wang Han turns to look at her. The woman introduces herself as Liu Yu, his assistant, and says she was arranged by Chairman Lin. Wang Han acknowledges her and says the bidding has begun, so they should head over. As they walk together toward the venue, both react with surprise. The announcer welcomes everyone again and states that today's bidding will determine the developers for the new district project. A smug man with a curled mustache asks everyone to give him some face, implying they should back off. He warns that if they don't, they'll have to deal with the consequences. A name tag reveals him as Su Rui, the eldest young master of the Su family. Wang Han, puzzled, asks who this man is. Liu Yu explains that Su Rui is a wealthy figure from Jiangning City and their biggest competitor in today's bidding. Wang Han questions if Su Rui is even qualified to compete with him. Liu Yu explains that the Su family plans to win the project and collaborate with the Qin family to escape financial trouble. Wang Han sees someone showing a photo of Su Kai and criticizing the man she's involved with, calling him ugly and unworthy. He pities Su Kai for being taken by someone like that. Wang Han thinks to himself, so the Su family Su Kai is engaged to is this one. The bidding host announces the next auction item, Project 053 in the new district, which several families are competing to win. Su Rui raises his paddle confidently and places a bid of 5 billion. The crowd is shocked that the Su family started with a 5 billion bid, assuming they're determined to win. Some say no one would dare oppose them since they're working with the Qin family. Wang Han calmly raises his paddle and bids 6 billion. Spectators react in disbelief, questioning who would dare go against the Su family. One guesses Wang Han might not be from Jiangning City. More comments follow, mocking Wang Han and saying it's no wonder he's brainless enough to fight the Su family. They assume the Su family will crush him easily. Su Rui slams his fist down on his leg in anger as the bid increases. Gritting his teeth, he demands to know who the hell is messing with him and accuses the bidder of doing it on purpose to provoke him. At the auction, the black-haired man calmly stated that the highest bidder would win, asking if there was a problem. The other man grew furious, reminding him that the Qin family wanted this project. Unfazed, the black-haired man replied that he heard it but questioned what it had to do with him. His bold response left everyone around shocked. The crowd whispered in disbelief, wondering who he was. Many were stunned that he dared to challenge the Qin family so directly. The man from the Qin family raised his sign, shouting a bid of 700 million. Without hesitation, the black-haired man countered with 800 million. Anger boiled over as the Qin family member yelled that in Jiangdu City, their family's word was law. He declared that whatever they wanted, no one else could claim. The tension escalated when he grabbed the black-haired man's collar, furious that someone dared to defy their authority. The Qin family man raised his bid to 900 million, daring the black-haired man to keep going. With a confident smile, the black-haired man laughed and immediately raised it to 1 billion. The room froze at his bold move, while the Qin family member's fury exploded. He threatened to kill him on the spot, shouting that he'd chop him up and feed him to the dogs. The black-haired man struck first, landing a powerful blow that sent the kin family member crashing to the ground. He mocked him, asking if he thought he alone could challenge him. As the injured man collapsed, his subordinates rushed in. Calmly, the black-haired man grabbed a chair and hurled it, knocking one of them out instantly. The black-haired man swiftly countered, knocking down more of the attackers with precise strikes. Shock spread across the room at his overwhelming strength. Clutching his face in anger, the kin family member shouted that hitting him meant having a death wish. But the black-haired man smirked, declaring that he was the one being targeted. The fight ended with another brutal strike, sending the last attacker flying across the room. The kin family member was left battered and humiliated on the floor. Standing tall, the black-haired man looked around the hall and calmly asked if anyone else wished to bid. The entire room fell silent at his dominance. After the hall fell silent, the host nervously confirmed that no one else wished to bid. The black-haired man instructed his assistant to handle the funds, saying he had other matters to attend to, and then walked out confidently. His presence left a lasting impression, his dominance undeniable as he stood unmatched. Meanwhile, elsewhere, new events quietly began to unfold. In another room, a young woman asked her grandfather why he had called her in such a hurry, complaining that she even missed the auction. The old man admitted he still couldn't figure out the temperament of a certain person, which made him cautious. She teased him, surprised that someone could make him act so carefully. Just then, a servant entered to report the auction's result. When asked if the kin family had won, he replied that someone else had taken the victory. The old man simply nodded in understanding. The young woman was shocked to hear that the kin family had lost the bid, wondering who could be bold enough to snatch it from them. Holding her phone, she dismissed the winner as arrogant. Her grandfather, however, revealed that this was the very person they had been waiting for. She decided to step out and make a call, while he watched quietly. As she walked down the hall, she thought about how the kin family's defeat meant they couldn't easily oppose the Mu family now. At the same time, the black-haired man planned to remind everyone that the kin family's threat no longer mattered. While walking down the hall, the young woman accidentally bumped into the black-haired man, startled by his sudden presence. Embarrassed, she scolded him for not watching where he was going. She quickly left to make her call, reporting important news to someone named Nanan. The black-haired man remained silent, watching her walk away. At that moment, the old man greeted him warmly, acknowledging his arrival as young master. After finishing his business, the black-haired man reflected on the woman he had just seen. The old man introduced her as Lin Zufu, his granddaughter, emphasizing that she was unwed, healthy, and had long admired the young master. Unimpressed, the black-haired man dismissed the idea of meeting her. The conversation shifted when the old man asked if he knew Su Kai, a prominent figure of the Mu family. He explained that the kin family had planned to ally with them through this project, but with his intervention, that plan had been disrupted. Curious, the black-haired man leaned back and asked casually about her personal life, wanting to know how many boyfriends she had and what her daily habits were. The old man explained that the Su family raised their children strictly and that the girl had a stubborn personality. He added that she rarely interacted with others and, as far as he knew, had never dated anyone. The black-haired man smirked, satisfied with the information. Just then, his phone rang and he received a call. The voice on the other side said they were just thinking of him and asked to meet. He answered calmly, saying he had time and would come find them. The black-haired man told the old servant he was leaving and that he could report back to the chairman. As he walked away, the servant mentioned that his granddaughter Zufu had also graduated from the Royal Academy in London, just like him. The young master brushed it off, saying they'd talk about it another time. Meanwhile, at a quiet riverside park, a red-haired woman sat alone on a bench, deep in thought. The black-haired man soon rode up on his motorcycle, heading straight toward her. At the park, the black-haired man approached the red-haired woman as she sat on a bench. Taking a seat beside her, he leaned back with confidence and placed his arm around her shoulder. He assured her not to worry about money, promising to support both her and the baby. He even suggested they could register their marriage anytime she wanted. Skeptical, the woman looked at him and asked if he could truly afford to take responsibility for them. Holding her close, the black-haired man confidently asked what could possibly be unaffordable. The red-haired woman looked at him skeptically and asked if he even knew the price. Without hesitation, he stated the exact amount, $352,000, and described the luxury watch she wore in detail. She was stunned by his precise knowledge. Still doubtful, she questioned how a delivery guy like him could ever afford something so expensive, wondering how many years he would need to work without eating or drinking to pay for it. The black-haired man told her not to worry about money and encouraged her to have the baby, bragging that he could handle everything. Annoyed, she asked if it would hurt him to not boast for once. Just then, her phone rang. On the line, someone impatiently asked where she was, reminding her that Kin Hao was waiting at home to discuss the wedding. Flustered, she quickly responded that she knew. After ending the call, she softly asked the black-haired man to take her home. With a confident smile, he agreed without hesitation. The black-haired man stopped his motorcycle and told the red-haired woman to get on. Without hesitation, she climbed onto the seat behind him. They sped through the streets, the wind blowing against them as she silently leaned closer, her expression softening. Riding together, the moment carried a quiet sense of connection between them. After the motorcycle ride, the black-haired man and the red-haired woman arrived at her home. As they entered, she softly announced to her mother that she was back. Inside, her mother scolded her angrily for being gone so long, saying Kin Hao had been waiting for her. The woman brushed it off with a calm excuse, saying she only went out for a walk. The black-haired man followed silently, watching the tense family atmosphere unfold. Her mother's expression stiffened as she asked why she had brought someone home with her, reminding her that the wedding with Kin Hao was approaching. From the sofa, the man introduced as Kin Hao casually greeted them, explaining he had come to discuss the wedding details. He was revealed to be the second young master of the Kin family,